Hi, this is Patrick with Falcon Sails, and I have my new personal boat here. It's an Epic 18X Sport. The boat you should sail or kayak sail with is the boat that you just like without kayak sailing in mind, because any hard shell boat will sail nicely. But my personal preference is an Epic 18X Sport. It's a very nice, efficient, well-designed, genius boat. It's really well done. The construction, the chemistry of it, the design, the quality, it's good. But the one thing it doesn't have is a seat that I like for being out in big conditions with my sail. The stock seat is pretty darn good for what it's designed for, which is to win races and go fast. But over the long run, if you want to do some distance, the seat is made to be slippery, and comfort isn't what they had in mind. It's uncomfortable, it's loose fitting, and it's just not good for long haul runs, and it's not good at all for kayak sailing, because the forces that you're fighting you just can't do well with a loose fitting seat like that. So what I did was I carved a seat out of 3-inch foam, and you can see here, get an idea of what I did. There's 3-inch foam here on the seat, and then on the thigh braces I made some out of 3-inch foam. And you can also see I put in an Immersion Research back band. The sun's kind of hitting this thing in a bad way, it's hard to see, but it's a really nice back band. I also used, you can see here, this Velcro, and notice, by the way, which is actually kind of important, the Velcro, I didn't use a lot of it, but I extended it beyond where it needed to be on both the boat and on the seat, and then you can kind of shove a credit card or something in between there to loosen it up rather than tear it up, because that will pull it off the foam. So if you ever use Velcro like this, I did it down here also, you can see if I want to pull this out, I just shove a credit card in there and just work it in, and it tears the hook and loop apart rather than tearing it off the seat. But anyways, how I carved the seat was I started out with a block of foam about the right size to fit in the boat, and I just started carving a seat, carving it by hand with this tool. I believe it's called a Holy Galahad. It's a wood carving tool for a power grinding grinder, and it's extraordinarily aggressive, and it's just more than necessary to put it on a power grinder, because you can just go in here like this. I'm not going to do it, but take out layers of foam fairly quickly, maybe a few hours of carving, and you'd have it. But what I did is I made the seat just about right for myself outside of the boat, and then I cut the shape of the boat after the seat was about right, and then I put it in, and then I sat in the boat and continued carving it from there, and then carved these thigh braces, which are really nice. This thing is custom for me. I mean, I fit in here tight, and anyone any bigger than me is not going to fit. But it's very comfortable. Hopefully it's comfortable for the long haul. And once I got it in here, I took it on a nice kayak sailing weekend, went 40 miles, and occasionally stopped and pulled out the grinder and the bit and just took out a little bit here and there. Eventually it got to the point where it's pretty comfortable, but we'll see how it is over the long haul. The other thing I did was put in this Immersion Research back band, and Nice thing about it is it's got a little thing where you can, you know, ratchet it tighter or and loosen it up real easily even when you're in the boat. I've got it suspended here with shock cords. And the other thing I wanted to point out to you, in my last boat I did this. There's an anchor point for this thing here. In my last boat I did this, and I just put a bolt through, and the force of leaning back on some big days took the bolt actually cut and started to move and created a cut in the fiberglass, or the fiberglass of the boat, and that's not good. Obviously it just would continue to get worse, so I had to do a repair. In this case what I did is I put a couple layers, 2 layers of 9-ounce Kevlar underneath to make it stronger, and then I took this 1.25 inch washer here and cut the hole so that this screw fit through there tightly, and molded it to the boat, and then seated it in a little bit of thickened epoxy so this thing is in there. And I also did the same thing on the inside, so you've got the stainless washer, the boat, stock boat, then some Kevlar, and underneath that another washer, all embedded in epoxy. It's very solid, and it's not going anywhere, which is good. You just don't want to discover on a trip halfway through that your boat is getting cut. So that's something I learned by the first one of these I built. And in any case, this is an excellent seat. It's very good. I went out on my weekend trip with my friends, and one of them said, "Boy, your boat and you are connected. When you move, the boat moves, and you know, it's great. It's great for rolling. It's great for fighting heeling force." But this is something that it's not necessary for kayak sailing, but if you want to go out and be in big conditions and maintain control and feel in control, you know, this is a good thing to do. It's not necessary, but unless you want to go to the, you know, certain level with things, and that's what I like to do. And you might like to put in a seat like this also. It's a nice improvement, and I recommend it. It feels great, and I've lived with seats like this, for this foam seat on my last boat, and I loved it. There's just no sense in staying with the stock seat unless you're a sprint racer and you happen to like the seat, but I don't. So that's the only thing I don't really like about the boat. Otherwise, this boat, this Epic 18X Sport, is a excellent boat. Very good boat. Alright, that's it. It's Patrick Forster with Falcon Sails, showing you how I rigged the seat in my Epic 18X Sport. Have a good one.